everybody. Welcome to Boss Rush Podcast. I'm your host, ADV. Joining me is the Vice President Council Night, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going?
I'm sorry, everybody, that I'm sounding like scraggly and losing my voice and everything, but still going to give you a great show. Bossman is on vacation, enjoying Disney, and he has something in plan for everybody that he's going to bring the Boss Rush games. You guys probably seen the logo for it. Jesse got a hot track. Me and him was talking about it and everything. And Jesse, I do love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
And our shipping champion Ray Apollo couldn't make it. He is doing some family things at this time, so it's going to be just me and Jesse, just having a normal conversation. But before we get into all of that, you can follow us on Twitter at boss_rush_games and on Facebook and Instagram at Boss Rush Games. Join our Discord, Xbox console community, and our Destiny clan. Also, live shows have returned. Join us live on Mixer and Twitch at bossrushgameslive.com. All one word to chat with us live on air. You can find all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Pod and Play Revamp, our seasonal Let's Play show, is officially underway. You can go to bossrushgames.com Saturdays from February 1st to April 4th this season, featuring games like Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Spec Ops The Line, Monster Hunter, and more. Tweet at us what games you want to see in the upcoming seasons. Lastly, Arsenal X has officially returned live and on podcast services for Wednesdays. Join us on Sunday night Arsenal for the pre-show, the live podcast recording, and some multiplayer Xbox fun on Mixer and Twitch. Also, remember to check out our family of shows, podcasts, and videos on youtube.com/BossRushGames, podcast services, and of course on BossRushGames.com. And yes, everybody, if you don't know, we are now on Anchor FM. So you will find our podcast episodes on there. So, Jesse, how have you been?
Pretty good. It's been a kind of a rough, weird week. lot of not so great things going on in Wisconsin. So
yeah,
unfortunately.
For people who don't know, one of the big things is that there was a shooting in Milwaukee at a beer factory.
Yeah, it was at the Coors compound or whatever they call it, the factory where they make Coors beer or whatever.
Yeah. So it was reported that 5 people were died, and a 50-year-old man, he died. They said from his own inflicted wound. So
I think it was it was basically he, like a lot of times you hear about where people go on a shooting spree and they end up killing themselves or whatever.
Yeah, and I think the 5 people haven't been named yet, or anything. But and then there was go ahead.
Which I mean, like it's kind of hard with that because like sometimes you wanna say the names so people like, but at the same time it's like we don't it's I mean you can say be sad and mourn them and like like the with everything that's gone on and like in Wisconsin this week and right just a couple of blocks away from my house there was a really unfortunate stuff that had happened with a 3-year-old and a guy that basically with a knife and there's just a lot but they're in Wisconsin we're flying the flags at half staff or whatever and just to kind of for that and then there's also like this really weird story that's it's been over a week now but like police had got a call that from I don't know if it was the parents or something from the house. They said that they needed someone to come and make sure that their kids were okay. And so the police got there and it was a 3 and a 5-year-old they found dead. and we haven't gotten a single follow-up about it. Nothing. Like, it's been over a week and nothing has been said. And so it, like, people are just really wondering what happened, what's going on. Like, the people that live in that town are like, should we be worrying about,
Mm-hmm.
someone on the loose that, like, what's, people are frustrated because nothing is being said. And, like, it's just really weird. I don't know if it's just that it's such a complicated thing that they can't figure out to say anything yet. I don't know. It's just really weird. But
I think right now they're probably still investigating. They can't say anything because, like,
yeah,
me and you were talking, and I was telling you about the North Chicago shooting,
yeah,
or not shooting, but someone sent in a text to one of the students or somewhere that they was
mhm,
going to shoot up the school because they was tired of being bullied. And this is for our high school, and we've never had anything like that. Definitely, when you
mhm,
think of school shootings and stuff, the first when before Columbine, people thought that a lot of that stuff was going to be happening in a lot of black schools, and it
mhm,
ended up happening. It still happens in a lot of white schools, and this is not to be racial or anything, but back in the day, we got metal detectors and guard dogs and all of this stuff to be protect
mhm,
our school and not others. So
yeah,
to see definitely something like that be a headline in my hometown, it's kind of just like it kind of it kind of brings a new light to things when stuff like that happens in your city or in your state.
mhm,
When you told me about the 3-year-old being stabbed and stuff, like I didn't expect anything like that to happen in your city. When the shooting in Milwaukee happening, I would never expect anything that to happen. Like we don't want we don't want stories like this. We don't want shootings like this. But when it
mhm,
happens in your city or is close to you, whether you have a connection with that person or not, it really just affects you, really makes you think about things. And yes, this is a video game
yeah,
podcast where we'll talk about we shot up a whole bunch of people or we played Vanquish or stuff like that. But those are creative works of art. They're not real. We can't, there's no way that we could die and just come back like they do in those games. That
yeah,
compare that stuff to the real thing, and then something in fantasy. Cause like with the shooting in Milwaukee, where's everybody talking about the 51-year-old playing a mature game to have him do that? There's
yeah,
no talk of that, and we've been making that statement for a long time and
yeah,
everything. So
yeah, yeah. It's, like, both situations. I just feel like it's just, like, health insurance is expensive.
mm,
Like,
yeah,
we're finding that out firsthand right now. When my wife's insurance changed, and it costed like almost, I think it was like almost $200 more for me to just be on her insurance, just because they wanted to, try to get more money from people or whatever it
mhm,
was. And then, but that's on top of what it costs to have the family, family plan,
it's just
which
yeah,
family plans, if you have a family and you have family insurance, how expensive that can be. And then for them to just, say, hey, by the way, to try to get you to not get your spouse on our insurance, we're going to charge you this other whole big amount of money.
yeah, and
It's like, man.
that's why everybody voting is important. Let's talk to
Mhm.
listen to these candidates when they're talking about healthcare, because
Yeah,
the system in the future could change at any time. And we've seen what they tried to do in the past.
yeah.
So right
Well,
now, that's why it's important. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, and like, and not to get political, but
Hmm.
the thing is like, and you have these people like Bernie Sanders and stuff like that, and some of these other people that are running for the Democratic parties or or whatever. When they're talking about all these things where they want to be making the taxes more for people that have more money, and and this health care and stuff for people and all that stuff. It's like, it just boggles my mind when people get so upset and are so against things like that. It's like, well, the thing is like, they don't care about you, and they're ultimately not there to try to be there for you. This is a business for them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, for you to protect and be on the side of the people who don't care about you, it's kind of a waste of energy. It's like, we should have things better. We should be taking,
Mm-hmm.
people should be able to get help with mental illness and things like that, and not have to worry about it, and not go to the doctor to take care of those issues because they can't afford it, like that. I mean, that, like, if it, like, these kinds of things like shootings and stuff like that aren't going to go away on their own, and they're not going to go away by just talking about it either. It's,
Mm-hmm.
like, something has to be figured out. And I do honestly think, because a lot of the times these things that happen like that are usually people who don't have a whole lot of money or whatever, and it's, you get in a tough spot where they kind of lose their mind, and they lose control of their their emotions and their their mental illness or whatever, and they don't have it under control, and things happen. And it's, a lot of times these people just, whether they just don't go to doctors at all, because there are still a lot of people who just don't like going to doctors. But it's also, hard if you don't have a lot of money, and and you don't want to have to be worrying about paying to go to the doctors and take care of yourself and stuff like that, because you don't have the money. It's, it's going to continue to be an issue. So, like, I understand, like, when people argue on both sides, like, like, where is this money in the government going to come from? Like, I understand that, but at the same time, like, that the government has plenty of money. The problem isn't that we don't have the money. The problem is that they do have the money, and they don't always spend it the right way, and so, like, I honestly think that there's very easy ways to fix problems and to have things, like health care and things like that. It's just a matter of the people that are supposed to be representing us actually doing something, and
Mm-hmm.
not just, not just arguing with one another. And, like, it's kind of sad that there's people out there who think that it's bad when Republicans and Democrats work together. It's like, well, that's what the whole point of the system is supposed to be. They're supposed to be working together to look out for, and represent, everyone. And like, that's what they get paid for, is to work together to try to solve problems. And so this whole idea of trying to keep everyone separated and have, people hating one side or hating the other, it's like, it's, that's why things don't get done. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we're fighting with one another and they keep us separated, then, like, we've lost all the power. Because if we're refused to work together, and, regardless of what side we feel like we represent, well, they win. Because if we're fighting, they don't have to do anything, because we're too busy worrying about one another when we should be worrying about the actual issues
Yeah.
that we're facing. those people, these, you know, Democrats and Republicans that got all this money, they don't have to worry about, like, you know, whether they're going to be able to afford health care. They don't have to worry about, you know, like all these bad things that, you know, that happen, and you know, like, you know, certain neighborhoods and stuff like that. They're sitting in their big nice houses, and you know, they don't have, they're so far away from everything that they don't have to worry about, you know. And so it's, yeah, it's definitely, it's important to go and vote, and you know, tell the people who are supposed to be representing you, you know, how you feel about things, and you know, and really paying attention to what, you know, when it comes to election time, paying attention to what's, you know, what people are saying, and you know, actually choose the person that you feel like represents you, you know. Like, just voting for party lines, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot most of the time. So
Yeah. Well, we send our condolences to all the families
yeah,
that were affected with everything, especially with that 3-year-old who lost
yeah,
their life. So,
it's really sad.
but really sad. But we're going to get into what we been playing, our gaming get down. I've been getting down to Tokyo Mirage session. I think I'm getting closer to the end of the game. I'm at a part where now I have to jump around different places, and I'm at one dungeon that I have to follow these doors in a certain order. Because if I mess up, the doors rearrange with the numbers. I'm like, oh, I
Oh,
hate this dungeon. But I will power through it. Started back up Control on Xbox One, and I don't know. I think it needs a better map system for that game, because I was getting lost. I'm just like, how the heck do I get through this next part and everything? I eventually found it, but I'm just like, this thing needs a better map system, or it needs to
yeah,
have a map on where you can be at. I don't like the fact that you gotta press the right trigger button, or the right control button, like the directional pad, to like duck and stuff. Like
yeah,
I know they want you to move and everything, but it's just like I I think because of Gears, I'm used to like Gears and some of those
mhm,
games that have like where if you press the A button, you could just sit down and duck for cover.
yeah,
I know they don't want you to cover; they really want you to move around in this game.
yeah,
But it's just like when you got to do some of these long fights and stuff, it's just like that
yeah.
that affects it. And also, before I go on, shout out to Ty Aksha and Charlie Carden for Secret Friends United. I got to meet them in person. They
All
are
right.
amazing. I love those two guys. Charlie is tall. I didn't
Yeah.
expect him to be that tall, and I was just
Oh,
like, but he is so cool and down to earth. And Todd is just amazing. We was kicking it. We had drinks, we had food.
nice.
We actually got the karaoke, so I might put it out there for a boss rush. um that might be, my voice might sound like that don't sound right. I'm like, I don't have my full voice, and I wasn't able to get up high notes and stuff. So I probably will put it out there for boss rush to show how much fun. Todd was giving me all the drama. He was doing Total Eclipse of the Heart, and Charlie was doing his song. They were giving me full, and I was just enjoying everything.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. I would have so much fun with them. Um, so just shout out to them. Love those guys. They're just completely wonderful, fantastic. We was catching up on a lot of things. Todd's birthday is 6 days after mine, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna show him some love definitely on that day. But yeah, Charlie and Todd from Secret Friends Unite. If you guys are not listening to those podcasts, and also shout out to Mark Carabin from Secret Friends Co-op mode. He's fantastic too. He guest on Nintendo Power Block, so you guys can check that out. I was telling Todd, like, he's literally down to earth, just lovable, just he is amazing. So just shout out to them. But yeah, Todd is getting back into Control, and I told him I was just starting out Control. I was supposed to start it last week, but I started today. And shout out to Jesse. If you guys haven't checked him out, check out his Mixer page. He was playing some Modern Warfare, and he was rocking it. I love when I get a chance to jump on and watch you play and everything. I definitely want to support everybody that I can. I need to check out Ray streams when I'm off so I can support him too. Um,
Yeah.
it's because I've been getting a whole bunch of stuff done, dude. I literally was able to record optional yesterday, and get it out. So, if you guys, I'm sorry, this is a quick plug. I actually, and you was talking about the ADHD thing, and
Yeah.
I didn't really go fully into it, but
Mhm.
I did mention a little bit. I didn't mention you or anything, but I did the for anybody who want to check. The topic was why people prefer voice over text, and I really like went in and talked about why voice over and voice acting is better for people who want to play games. Is it better than people reading text on it and stuff? And me and you
Mhm.
had a good conversation and everything. So if you
Mhm.
guys want to check out that episode, it's on SoundCloud and everything, or their podcast of choice, podcast apps of choice. But I um last plug. I'm sorry, everybody. Me and Corey, Pod and Play new episode of Yakuza Kiwami is out, so do check that out. And I'm thinking of jumping back into Yakuza Kiwami once I finish Knack, because I've been playing Knack also, and I w- there's something about Sony's platforming games or Sony games in general. Sometimes they feel like they stretch it out too long, where they should end it and they don't, and it's just like you are really just dragging this adventure just along the way. This game should have ended, but they do it so they can make a full length game. Because sometimes it kind of feels like, did they run out of ideas or something like that, or did um they were just developing this game along the way and didn't really fully realize that, oh, we need some more stuff to get it out. But I am enjoying it. Was one of the PlayStation 4 launch games, and so that's why I'm playing it. I like I said, I prefer two over one, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to actually play one and give it time, and then I think once I'm done with one, I'll jump into Kiwami, and then I'll definitely jump back into Nino Kuni 2 and Dragon Quest 11, because I really do want to play more of my PlayStation 4 and bring that representation to the show. Because of course, me and you playing Xbox or playing Switch, or
Mhm.
me and Corey playing Nintendo, and Ray playing PC, we don't really give representation to PlayStation that often. So I am going to try to bring some of the games that I have on there and talk about it and stuff. Because definitely when everybody comes back in, we get into knowing more about the Xbox Series X, and we get more to know on PS5. That good breakdown, and I'm glad that me and you talked about it, Jesse. I know we
Mhm.
talked about a lot of things there right on the side, but we talked about when we all get the full summary of what we're getting with each one, we can make our decisions and really break stuff down that is going to make us want to get the system or make us wait for the system. Not saying
Mhm.
we won't get it at all, but sometimes for budget reasons and maybe for game reasons, we might miss that generation of consoles. I know for
Yeah.
me personally, I have to get a Series X and I have to get a PlayStation 5 because of what I do here in this community. So, but pretty much that's what the games I've been getting down. I definitely by next Saturday I will have a full on, like, hopefully one of the games get beaten and I'll have a full on discussion about that. But Jesse, what games have you been getting down to?
So I've been mostly playing uh well, Division 2. I've been trying to finish that. I think I just got like one more main mission to get the final person that I need to recruit or whatever
Uh,
for the to be at the White House or whatever.
yeah.
So then I have like everything, all the different places I can go or whatever for certain things unlocked, which I think he's for the Dark Zone maybe. I don't
Maybe.
remember. I think you don't go to the Dark Zone until you have the person that
Yeah.
you talk to. So I think that's the last person I got to talk to and finish that up. But like I'm really enjoying the game and playing it, like playing single player. I like once I do that main mission, then I do have a lot of side stuff that I got to do and all that, because like right now I barely have anything unlocked at the bench, where you can like make mods or build guns or pieces for the guns. Like I barely have any of that stuff unlocked, like the different kinds of scopes and things like that. Those are all locked behind side mission stuff. So
Mhm.
so I gotta do that kind of stuff and try to get some of that stuff unlocked. So I actually have good, decent equipment to pick from that I can put on my guns to make them better. So um yeah, because like I don't know, not I'm not super into like how they set that up where you got to do the whole blueprint stuff for a lot of that things. Like I think I liked how you did that better in the first one, but at the same time, like it's not it overall this game is better than the first one, I think. So
Yeah.
because there's I feel like I actually am using more different kinds of well, yeah, I mean, I kind of use a lot of different kinds of guns in this one versus in the first one. All I would use was the assault rifle and the marksman, rifle or sniper rifles or whatever, because like the LMGs and the SMGs and all that stuff really felt kind of useless in the first one. So like I switch between an assault rifle and an LMG in this one because like the LMGs are just really good. Like like you can't pass up having a 100 round clip and also it being able to do a decent, like really good amount of damage. Like I'm like I gotta go with these because it's doing a lot of damage and it's got 100 clip, versus the 30 or whatever on some
Yeah.
of the assault rifles. So because like especially when you're playing solo, if like a whole bunch of guys are running up on you, like trying to flank you or whatever, and you got to keep reloading every 30 bullets, it's it can suck sometimes. And I
Yes.
and I have like the sawed off double barrel shotgun as my side that usually can finish a guy off in one shot. But it only has two shots, and then after that you got to reload. So I have that for my just in case. But yeah, so I've been enjoying that a lot. And I've been getting some more wins in Fortnite. Um, So yeah, that's been kind of fun. I just go to every once in a while, and then playing some Modern Warfare today. Went back into that and want to get back into playing that some more again because I've like just not doing like super as good as I normally do in first person shooters because I'm so used to playing third person. And that always happens if I play first person for a long period of time, then I start to really suck at playing third person, and then vice versa. So yeah, and then yeah, I wanna finish Division 2, for my backlog, and then I don't know what I'm gonna play after that. Maybe I might finish do something a little bit different and finish up what's crap? What's that game called? The one where the one about the drinking or whatever, where you got to go against Satan.
Oh,
Uh, After Party, yeah,
at the
After Party,
party. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think I want to finish that because I really was enjoying that story and stuff in that game. It was pretty fun and just a really interesting and fun story and characters. The characters were pretty good in it too. So yeah, I might go back to that after I'm done with Division. So
Yeah. I think I'm only I think I'm only 2 games finished for my backlog challenge.
Hmm.
Um, and it's only because of jumping around, but me like playing some really long games. Like I've been trying to work through Borderlands 3. Had to put that. Been working the Tokyo Mirage session. Had to still working on that. I'm really am trying to get through a lot of stuff, and of course these games are long, and you gotta definitely when you have to work and stuff,
Hmm.
and you don't really get that much free time after
Yeah.
working or before working. Uh, you really got to try to get as much time in for some games,
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, and that's what's happened with like a bunch of like a lot of the games I finished. Like I like would just try to, like maybe once or twice a week I was, trying to sit and like play it for a good 4 hours, sit
Yeah.
down or something like that. And just trying to just knock out as much as I could in one sitting, and because I knew that like I basically had to take any free time that I had and try to finish them, because yeah, I don't have a lot of free time all the time. A lot of times my weekends are busy, like something going on recently. So
Yeah. So, well, that's all you've been getting down to?
yeah.
Okay. So, well, we don't have any news, but I kind of and we didn't get any community questions. But if you guys want to send us questions, you can hit us on Twitter at boss_rush_games, and you can email us at bossrushgamespro.com. But Jesse, I kind of wanted to bring this question to you. So it was announced that GDC officially got canceled this year, or they're postponing it until the summer, from
Yeah.
what we know.
Yeah.
And so, uh, and everybody keeps saying that E3 is dying, PAX is the new thing. Well, it's amazing that PAX is going on right now, and C2E2 is going on right now too. Hopefully, everybody's having fun. There's people that we know that are at each one of them that are enjoying it and everything. I kind of want to ask you that if PAX was supposed to be the thing to replace E3, where are the game announcements? Where are the conferences that we are supposed to watch? Where is the excitement from the community about these companies being at PAX? Because definitely, if you look at social media, you see that people who are at PAX are responding and talking about things, but the big
Mhm.
companies are not really saying anything. So do you think that if E3 goes away, where is the excitement going to be at? Where is the videos and stuff we'll be able to watch and stuff? And I was talking to Ty Astra. He said that I think Microsoft is still going to have a talk. I think March 16th. I think they're going to do an event where they have a talk and stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
so I hopefully I'm off to see that. I don't know when it's going to start, but I do want to watch it. But if E3 goes away and PAX is this big thing, why are we not seeing the stuff that people said that would happen? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of the issues that are going on right now, though, are just kind of more related to the coronavirus stuff,
Mm,
because that's one of the major concerns right now, is because there's a lot of people that would have to travel from those areas, like to go out to any of these kind of things. Because not just developers and stuff like that, but like people, people who are journalists and stuff like that as well, like, so the major problem right now is that they're having is, there's such a, like, it's really tough to travel, with all that stuff kind of going on. And so, a lot of people are kind of like, saying, I'm not going to be going because, even just, we've already had some cases of it here and stuff. It's
mm,
there's kind of a little bit of an outbreak in California right now, um, from what I understand. And so and that's where it was going to be. It's going to be in San Francisco. I believe the
GDC.
Yeah, GDC. And so I think they're just kind of, that's what they said. They said it's really to do with the coronavirus stuff, and like the fact that you're putting thousands of people all into one area where, for the most part, a lot of times you can't help but come in contact with other people, whether it be touching doors, touching, controllers, touching whatever, or just the fact that it gets so packed and busy that that you're pushing or bumping into other people. So it's just, I think it just sounds like that kind of stuff is more about a caution with dealing with the virus stuff going on. And so that's just kind of put a damper on a lot of things so far this year, as far as a lot of, like what people are doing and going to and stuff like that. Maybe it is March, but I thought there was a big announcement thing happening in April, but maybe it is March for Microsoft. But I think the thing is like, well, at least for Microsoft, I can't really speak for the others, but like Phil Spencer, and they've kind of been just slowly, releasing, little bits and pieces here and there on Twitter and stuff, and tweets and things like that. I think trying to just get, like keep people interested, because I think for Microsoft, they do have some plans for some, announcement stuff coming up here pretty soon. And I think that's kind of, like, honestly, as far as Sony goes, like, I think they're just kind of waiting because they don't know. They're kind of like stuck in a position right now where they don't know, like, like Microsoft is releasing information about their console, but they're not releasing the information that would be good to know for Sony, like pricing and things like that. And so they're kind of stuck in a waiting position, because Microsoft's just kind of, taking their time and, not saying much, because I think that, Sony wants to wait and find out what they're going to be pricing their console at, and try to make a move from that point. But so I think we'll start getting some stuff coming out pretty soon. Like there's also kind of people are thinking that we're gonna get some more news from Activision or whatever for Call of Duty or for Modern Warfare stuff. Like there's this Warzone game mode that's been talked about, and stuff that we don't really know a whole lot about or anything about, really. So I think, I mean, it is kind of weird that PAX is going on and we really haven't heard anything, because I feel like last year we at least got a couple little things during PAX. But I don't know if it's just people are kind of like, just because it's the end of the console generation, and like they're just kind of spending the time working on the games and just trying to get some stuff ready so they have something to actually show off around E3, or I don't, like, that's the thing. It's really confusing that we don't really know a whole lot about, like nothing has really came out for any of the the console stuff, or like any game stuff, or it's kind of been quiet.
Well, and that was the thing about PAX that everybody felt like PAX was going to replace E3 and everything. And so I'm just like, okay, so if that was to happen, where are the conferences at? That's going to show the people who can't be at PAX, you know.
Well, I don't think it was that PAX was gonna pack that they wanted PAX to replace E3 in the sense of having the
Well,
conferences.
that
They
that
wanted it to
was
replace it. They wanted it to replace it as far as when it comes to people, fans and stuff going to E3 to go play new games and stuff like that. Like that's what the argument is why are they trying to do that stuff at E3 when that's never what it was about. It was, like that's what PAX is for fans to go and get hands on the games and stuff. Whereas E3 is supposed to be about the about like journalists and stuff like that getting to go and do that kind of stuff and
it
get
was
news about new games and try new games and stuff like that so they can talk about it.
because E3 was supposed to be a trade show, and PAX is
Yeah.
more of a convention, where
Yeah.
where when E3 was happening, even before PAX happened, they had it where gamers would come to play games and interact and go to these shows and everything. So when
Well,
E3 evolved,
it used to not be open to public though. That was the
yeah, it
thing.
was.
No, it wasn't open to public
It used to
before.
be. It was
No,
open up to it.
that's a new thing. That's why people don't like
Talking to
E3.
talking back in the 90s where when EGM was showing it, I think it was the second or third year. There was the second or third year, uh no, sorry. The second or third year that E3 was going on, I think around in the early 90s and stuff, they used to have people come in because they used to do the cosplay, and they used to have it was just open to the public. The journalists was still there covering it and everything, but if you looked at EGM, you would see people like the public come in with their costumes and spend money and play different games and stuff like that and talk about them. Right when they stopped having the public come, it switched over to where a lot of journalists was coming. And then recently, like I said, they were trying to get the public back into it so they can make money. Because
Mhm.
yeah, at the time they did stop having the public, but E3 was so big. E3 at that time was the PAX because there were report. We didn't have the internet really there yet, but there was when you got like the latest EGM or Game Pro after E3 happened, you would get stories of games that were being shown and talks and stuff.
Yeah.
When E3 started emerging online for everybody to see, it was still and they cut off the public and stuff. They were still showing it was more for the journalists and stuff. So it was kind of
Yeah.
like a trade show because they used to have Kitchen Hall where like it was items that you wouldn't think about or it's just like some low budget stuff and people thought it was like the crappy stuff or the bad stuff, but there were some interesting things. People would
Yeah.
go there and try stuff right there.
Yeah.
Now that E3 has evolved into what it is now, um people feel like it doesn't hold a candle up to what PAX is.
Yeah.
So when people kept talking about PAX should replace E3, is PAX replacing E3 for the conferences and the announcements? But like you said, it's replacing what people are doing when they're there after it. So I could definitely understand and see that part.
Yeah.
So because my thing with E3 is that because we're all watching the conferences, we're all watching Treehouse Live or maybe State of Play or Digital Devolver doing their little presentation. We are all interacting on social media about it. So our reactions, our podcast, the way that we talk, the way that we do a video, what we covering, what we
Yeah.
love, what we hate, what was our best of show and stuff, that personal things. Um, we are all seeing that happen at E3. That's part of our. That's the part that we take place at E3. We're not
Mhm.
able to take that same thing in PAX. You know, of course,
Yeah.
at PAX, you got people who are holding talks and everything, but they're not delivering anything where it's an announcement of a game or something, or they're showing off something that we and the rest of the world could tune in. Because we could do it somewhat with Tokyo Game Show if they decided to do it like Sony was doing it, like having the show and stuff. But we can't even check Tokyo Game Show stuff out if there's no conferences going on. In Tokyo, they have a whole different system, but Tokyo Game Show is like Japan's E3 in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just interesting that I brought the question. I bring up this question because I'm just like, people who are there and these companies who are there, are you guys going to do a conference? Why is the community doing the panels and like Nintendo or Microsoft are not doing panels? It's showing everybody why they're not doing it, because I would take that for a conference if or a meeting or a showcase if they were able to be like, we are Microsoft, we're having a talk about Halo Infinite and some of our ideas. And then this is a presentation. If you want to click on, you can click on and watch it. But to really like get questions answered live and everything, you have to be at PAX.
Yeah, I think part of this too is probably with it being a new console generation.
Mm-hmm.
I really think what's going on is there is a lot of people, mostly Microsoft and Sony, are just holding their cards really close to them. Like, because the thing is if they start setting stuff up or having stuff kind of available, or doing too much at PAX, and they're not controlling the narrative, like where people are seeing things and talking about things, and it's not them actually saying the things. I honestly think there's probably just not a lot at PAX being done as far as like any of new information or anything like that. So I think it's probably just what's going on is there's just not a whole lot to talk about that we probably don't or do already know. But the things that we don't know, they want to, Microsoft or Sony wants to have like their own kind of, like state of play, or Microsoft do their show and talk more about it. And so I think they like there's probably are some games and things that people are getting to experience at PAX or whatever, but I think like their heavy hitting stuff, they're still kind of holding close yet, because they're not quite ready to get that stuff out there yet. So I think it's just we're in an unfortunate point in the consoles and game stuff that there's they like this always happens, where they're like quiet for a big chunk of time about stuff until they're ready to especially during this time, like now with leaks and all that stuff being such a like it happens all the time. It's like unfortunately that kind of stuff just makes them be even quieter about certain things, because they're afraid to even just give a sneak peek of certain things. Like look at like when those people like made took a picture of like a fake Xbox Series X or whatever, and they showed it off the port thing, and then they're like, oh, that's not and that wasn't the real thing. That was just like a whatever, people making a mock-up. And like it's just like there's people like trying to put all this information out there that isn't necessarily official or true and whatever. And so like they're just having to be very overly cautious, unfortunately. And I think it's that's what we're seeing the effect of, is they just kind of trying to control the narrative, because especially for Microsoft, they've got a lot of catching up to do, and and there, there's a lot of things that they've got to make sure goes off smoothly, to try to continue this build and momentum that they've kind of got going on. So,
Well,
it's,
do you think that? Well, I wondered this: if they are gearing up stuff for announcements and releases, definitely for E3. Do you think this year it's time for them to do gameplay to really show off the power of the Series X? Because we know I have a feeling Nintendo's going to bring it, because Nintendo's more of people. It's a question mark for Nintendo, because that's the best thing for it. We like to be surprised with Nintendo and what they show, whether it's indies, third parties, or first party, whatever they show. With Microsoft, we know Halo Infinite is coming. We know that there's going to be some games that's going to say Series X and Xbox One X, or the Xbox One. Sorry about that. But do you think it's time for them to really show stuff off that don't say this is just alpha, things could change, that they really show us something concrete game wise? Like, this is actual game. This is when you cut on, this is what's going to be on the screen. Nothing CGI. This is all real. This is all happening on Series X. Do you think this is the year for them to show it? Because if they don't show it at E3, do that now bring worry about what they're going to bring for actual launch when the system comes out?
I think that's why they've kind of been cautious with even showing anything like about Halo, or because they just don't want to. They don't want want to, like, you just release like a trailer of something or whatever, like, that doesn't like represent the actual gameplay. Like, I mean, they have released some little bits and pieces of things, but I think those are just kind of more like to continue the hype kind of pieces. They're not really necessarily to show us what the game is going to be like, or anything, because they've been pretty basic, very, very small, just teaser trailers, really. We haven't really seen any actual gameplay or anything like that. But I do think that they're kind of trying to work on all that stuff and really get that to a point where they can actually show us gameplay, and like actually show us like like playing on the Series X and things like that. Because they've got to like give people a reason why they should buy that console if they're going to. I do think that we will probably see a lot more talk about like it'll be Xbox mostly, but we'll start seeing more and more about PC and this and that for PC. I don't know if they're gonna maybe do something during the PC gaming shows or whatever during E3. I kind of wonder about that, with them trying to push more and try to equally support and show their support for PC now that they're gonna have something during that as well. More, I don't know, but I think that we'll definitely see like actual gameplay of some of these games, like Halo and stuff. And then I think we will get announcements of games that are coming in the future. I don't know that we'll get gameplay, for certain things, like maybe some of those new games that we don't know about.
Because
we'll have some.
Cyberpunk 2077 should be ready for E3 to show actual gameplay.
Yeah.
They can't do any cutscenes or give you an idea what you're going to be doing. They need to actually show what we're getting with this game.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that all depends on how far along it is. 'Cause didn't it get
It's delayed. It's
delayed?
delayed. It's delayed to September for them to fix some stuff, but the game is done because the game
Y-
was supposed to be out in April.
Yeah.
So they should have a section what is actually being shown on the menu on the menu screen on the screen when you're actually running through a mission. It should be a 10 or 15-minute demo on Xbox stage just at E3. They need to show
Mhm.
they you
Yeah.
can't not you cannot give us a cutscene anymore. They need to show us what we're actually getting. Um because
Yeah,
I oh go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think this year they probably will still do a lot of like kind of like they did last year where it's just
Mhm.
boom, boom, boom games.
Yeah.
But I think yeah, there's gonna be certain games that they'll spend the time to, to show some gameplay and stuff. Um a little bit more this year, but I do think they're still going to try to get a lot of, game announcements and things like that in there like they did last year.
You think they'll
But
say well the Series X info for at the end?
um I think they might do like kind of like they did last year where they'll start it off with something big,
Yeah.
and then kind of like then, like kind of start showing other stuff and then boom come back with another big hit, and then like after that just like kind of boom 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 and like give us a whole bunch of things to be excited for, and then it's basically over, like. But I think that I'm trying to think if they would maybe go to the console stuff first and get that out of the way, so then they can start showing us gameplay of things on that console. I
Yeah.
think that would probably be the best way to do it. Maybe open it up with a really good, game that people are excited for or a big announcement, and then go into the console like in-depth thing or whatever with talking about like the console, and then go into boom 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 games, and gameplay and stuff like that, because the idea is they're gonna say most of what we need to know about the console here, and whenever this this online video thing comes out or whatever, the live
Mhm.
thing is, that they want to get all that kind of stuff for the most part out of the way, so then they can focus their time at E3 of actually showing gameplay and doing the stuff that are going to actually sell that console, so.
So we're about to let you guys go. But I kind of want to touch on real quick Bethesda. And the reason why I want to touch on them is because their conference haven't been a hit with a lot of gamers. And Ubisoft is such a mixed bag. Um with those two companies, do you think they come out swinging this year? With their new game, they have Starlight or Starflight, whatever it is. I think Elder Scrolls 6. I think that's the next one.
Mm,
And Deathlock. Do you think Bethesda got some things up their heads that they come strong? Definitely probably showing Doom Eternal for Switch. And some more stuff for Doom Eternal. Do you think they come out hard and very impressive, like um, they kind of learn from the feedback from last time and they're ready to go? And do you think Ubisoft, besides Gods and Monsters, do you think they come out strong too with this E3? Like those are the concerning companies at this time.
yeah.
EA, we're not really worried about because I think EA is not on anybody's radar. Everybody think that EA should just say what they need to say and move on, and that's it.
Well, like, first, I do think that EA could do something that would make us interested. Um, but that would be like, because like EA has been very, very, very quiet about any kind of Battlefield, game.
Hmm.
So part of me, because usually they're not this quiet about Battlefield games. So that makes me wonder if they're maybe trying to do something different, or trying to do something a little bit more ambitious with the next one. Because we have, like, normally we would be hearing about like that kind of stuff, like, I feel like by now, when it was an every year thing. So that I'm kind of curious as to what's going on there. And like, and then for Ubisoft, like, they kind of had at one point, like, had postponed or delayed a bunch of games, and so they could really just kind of re-strategize their what they were gonna do and show off. And so I think what we're gonna get is we're gonna get some in-depth looks at some of those games that they've kind of can't, or not canceled, but held off on releasing, so they could polish them up more and really make them anything, add or do anything to them that they can to really make it worth buying. And I think we're just honestly gonna get some really good looks at a lot of those things, those projects that they're working on. Because a lot of that stuff, like, they've already got people's attention on, like, people are already excited for them. Like, I think this Watch Dogs game that's coming out has probably got the most hype and interest out of all of the games, all of the Watchdog games that they've released so far.
Yeah.
Honestly, which I mean is a pretty amazing feat, on their part, considering how disappointed people were with the last one. So there's still some interest for that. So I think they're gonna go hard on, like, those games like that they know that there's a lot of interest in, and really just hopefully give people more information and give people what they want for it. So yeah, I mean, I do think that I don't know that we'll necessarily get anything that's going to be like a massive, like, reveal of something that we weren't expecting. I don't know. I mean, it's possible they could have some of that stuff, like maybe like a Mario Rabbids 2 or something for Switch. I could see them maybe announcing, something like that. I think they do have some things up their sleeve, but it's really hard to say, though, because, again, like, everyone and everything has just been really quiet lately. It's like, and I mean, honestly, like, part of me is kind of doesn't mind that it's been pretty quiet, because the less that's said now, the more that they'll have to say during E3. So, I'm kind of on the fence with all of it. Like, part of me wishes that they would tell us more about stuff, but at the same time, I'm fine with not getting a whole bunch of information coming out before E3, so I have a bunch more to look forward to when E3 comes. So
yeah, our predictions are. I think this year our predictions are going to be hard to, like. Our predictions are going to be hard to give out because we don't know so much. Our big predictions, I definitely can say, is for Series X. And then everything else is just what games are going to be announced for everything, and when. So, but everybody, that has been the show. Once again, thank you, Jesse, for joining me. We want to know what you guys think about everything that we talked about. You can email us at boss_rush_games on Twitter, or you can email us at bossrushgamespro.com@gmail.com. bossrushgamespro@gmail.com. I'm doing this off the top of my head. So once again, everybody, excuse my voice and stuff. I know it's kind of rhapsody. Hopefully, it'll be back to normal and we'll be able to give you hype. Corey will be back on, and I think we're going to have a good discussion about Disney next episode, because I really want to hear his adventures. I want to hear about the new podcast he is planning, and kind of want to talk about all our experiences over the years at Disney, because you went last year for a great vacation. Corey revisited is there. I went to Epcot to go sing as a choir member, and I kind of y'all making me want to go. You making me want to save up money and you take a trip.
Yeah, like if not now, like I would like even wait until like I think it might. I don't remember. We'll have to ask Corey if the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff is open or not. I don't remember if it's open now. Because that's gonna be opening. If it's not already open, will be opening probably within the next year or so. So
I really want to go to Universal and go to the Nintendo World. That's what I want to do.
Oh, okay.
But I gotta find out.
Because that's new. That's fairly new, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not open yet, so I want to find out. And I want to go there as a Boss Rush representative and everything.
Yeah.
And I might have to go through a travel agency, which I only been through one, because I went to Germany with my friend's church, and so I got to find out how do I go about that and how do I get on the payment plan with that. Because I really do want to go. I really want to go. And shout out to Corey for all the lovely food that he's been showing. He's been blessing my heart.
Well, honestly, like that's the thing. I would just talk to Corey about all that, because I think like it really depends on who you go through for a travel agency.
Yeah.
But I've heard that it's actually you can get better deals now versus in the past by doing stuff yourself and going through the Disney stuff itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just talk to Corey, because he would know probably quite a bit about that stuff, and so.
Yeah, because I've flown planes with everybody. I have been with someone else. I've never been in the airport by myself to get in line.
Oh, no.
I've never did none of that.
Okay.
So
I've a couple of times when I went to California to visit my friend Anthony, I flew by myself. Ultimately until we went to Disney World, I basically anytime I've went on a plane, I went by myself. I never went with anyone else. So
yeah, I know how to get on the train and go to other places, but never flew. But everybody, that is going to be the show. Have a great week. Have a great weekend whenever you see this. And as always, let's play video games and be better to one another. With that, everybody, we'll see you next time on Boss Rush Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.